Do you have a story to share with the world? Of course you do. We all have stories to share. An Anchor podcast allows you to share your interests in a way that connects to others all across the globe. If you have been considering starting your own podcast and don't know where to begin, Anchor makes it easy to record, edit, and publish with the click of a button. You can even add music. Whether it's crime dramas, self improvement, paranormal adventures, or tips about parenting, you too can share your unique imprint on the world. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. You've got this. I believe in you. Welcome to the Existential Empath Podcast. My name is Tanya, and I am an intuitive empath. My intention is to share valuable tools and techniques that I have learned so you can tap into your own inner healer naturally and intuitively. Welcome back. My name is Tanya, and in this video I wanted to talk about ways or signs that show that you're leveling up in your frequency or your vibration. So some of the signs that I've noticed as I've began to expand my consciousness have been that I don't resonate with certain people or places anymore in my life. So about 2 years ago, I began to really expand my consciousness to a level where I was really terribly uncomfortable with the job that I was in. I was working in healthcare, and I was really uncomfortable with where I was living. I was living in Florida, and I had lived there for nearly 20 years. And I really knew that if I wanted to keep my energy in tune and clean, I wanted to move closer to nature. I had always had this really deep soul desire to live in the mountains. And so I decided to let go of my job of 10 years and my living situation of 20 years and start my own business and move across the country to Washington State. And in my heart at the time, I really wanted to move to Idaho, but it wasn't in the cards for me. I was trying to attract that into my life. However, I wasn't in full alignment with it yet. So I had moved to Washington. And in that process, I began to feel a lot of shedding of deep emotional seeds from my past. And I began to experience some really, really heavy lower back pain. And I went through this for about 6 months, and it kind of guided me along my own healing journey. And it catapulted me even deeper into my spiritual awakening. So that's one sign that you may notice that you're beginning to raise your vibration, is that you don't resonate with where you live anymore, or who you live with, or your work environment, or certain friends in your life. You may feel that they are toxic and you just don't want to be around them anymore, or you can't be around them anymore, even family members for that matter of fact too. So another thing that shows that you're leveling up in your vibration is you may be making different food choices. For me, I've always eaten really healthy. I started eating organically about 15 years ago. I learned about GMOs and, all of this different stuff that was being contaminated in our food supply. And I stopped drinking water with fluoride in it and all of these different types of things. So if you are beginning to go along your spiritual journey and you begin to notice that you no longer have a need or a want to eat meat or to eat processed foods, then that is a sign you're raising your vibration, because the foods that we, are wanting to eat in a higher vibrational state are going to be those really rich, nutrient dense foods, fruits and vegetables, chlorella, spirulina, different herbs, ashwagandha, different types of things, proteins, beans, instead of eating that lower density meat. And from what I've learned being an empath, that if we eat meat from an animal that had a very traumatizing death, then we can energetically pick up on that when we eat it. And I don't know if that's true or not, but personally, I do feel that. Like, if I eat meat that was grass-fed and maybe humanely treated, then I don't feel as heavy as I do eating, a hamburger at a place that may have not humanely killed their cattle or, whatnot. So for me, I'm not 100% at the point where I am vegan yet, but I will definitely say I have cut out meat significantly. And it's not because of, reasons because of, oh, they're hurting the animals. I love animals. It really just had to do more with, I felt grossed out by it, really just grossed out. Like I would walk down the meat section and I'd see chicken in the package and I'm kind of like a pregnant woman feels when they see food that they don't want. So for me, it was more of a gross out factor. Subconsciously, it could be because I knew what was happening to the animals, but consciously it was because I was grossed out and I stopped just eating it. And then I would notice my body would crave it. Like I'm like, I need a steak. Rah! And then I'd go eat a steak. So don't beat yourself up about where you are in that process. Many of us are trying to raise our vibration and we're getting so caught up in having to be vegan. And don't beat yourself up if you want to go eat a burger at Five Guys. I mean, I did that. I went and didn't have meat for like 3 months, and then I went and got like a freaking double stack at Five Guys, and I devoured it in my car. I mean, it was insane. But I felt a lot better after I ate it from a physical standpoint. But then I didn't have meat for another 3 months. So, I mean, just listen to your body is all I'm saying, guys. Listen to your body. Go with the flow. Do what you feel is right. Okay. So another thing that will show you that you're raising your vibe is you're going inside and trying to heal old wounds, and you're going in and talking about generational wounds and ancestral wounds, and maybe for many years since you've been born, you've been pushing back all of these emotions and you've been suppressing them or not wanting to deal with them. But now you're like, all right, I'm going in. I'm going to take some time. I'm going to do some meditating. I'm going to see what bubbles to the surface. I'm going to dive into Reiki or different healing modalities. And I'm going to really go in there on an emotional level and kind of just sift myself and get rid of this trash, right? This garbage that I've been holding on to. That's definitely a sign you're raising your vibration, because what you're doing on a subconscious level is you're ridding yourself of those lower vibrational subconscious emotions. Okay, so that's a positive thing. That's really good that you're going in there and you're doing that and you're making your energy lighter, right? You're bringing more joy, more happiness, making more room, because that energy of guilt, shame, hatred, blaming, frustration, anger, whatever, takes up a whole lot of space. Okay, so then when you begin to release that and let it go, it's making more room for joy, peace, love, happiness, woohoo, all the good stuff that we want, right? So that's a really good sign. Another sign that you're raising your frequency is you want to simplify your life. You may, for me, I'd say 8 years ago, I would go to work, I would be super stressed out, and I would come home and I would just want to veg on the couch and watch some mindless TV like Kardashians or Real Housewives or something that would, focus on other people's drama than my own, right? So now I can't even watch that stuff. It just, it's heavy, it's dense, it's low vibe. I have a really hard time watching it. And to know, once you go down that rabbit hole, you know that we are being programmed by our television programs. They're called programs because they program us, right? So whatever we're watching, we are being subconsciously programmed. So when you begin to become more mindful of what you're watching, we become very mindful of what we're eating, but we need to become mindful of what we're watching as well, because that can be just as toxic. Okay. So as we begin to shift our vibration, we may want to watch more documentaries. We want to watch more enlightening shows. I know for my dad, he loves to watch Hallmark movies because they make him feel good. They aren't as heavy and violent as some of the shows that are on there now. We also want to shift what we're listening to. Okay, guys? So part of that awakening process is understanding that our music has been manipulating us. Okay, all of this time, our music has been manipulating us. So we have been bombarded with low vibe frequencies playing in the background to our subconscious mind. All right, so we want to shift what we're listening to. Maybe there was a time when you liked to listen to rap music or really heavy metal. And now you just can't stomach it anymore. You want to listen to solfeggio frequencies and Bach. Like where did that come from, right? I listen to soundscapes. So you can see I've got it in my background. Enya. I love me some Enya, right? Oh, like those are things that make me feel good. They raise my vibration. They have a good frequency in the background because sound heals, light heals, energy heals, right guys? So once we begin to learn these concepts, we begin to shift. And you may just do it subconsciously. You just hear that hip hop song on the radio and you're like, I don't want to listen to that anymore, right? I'm going to turn on this really nice, soft, gentle stream, right? Some creek music, you know, and you're like, my friends get in my car and they're like, what are you listening to? This sounds like hawks and native flutes and you know, river streaming. I'm like, listen, you don't want to be in my car? Get out. I got essential oils in my diffuser, roll in some sage because I'm cleaning your energy. And I am listening to some nice nature sounds. If you want to listen to hip hop, you need to go get in your own car, right? So setting boundaries, that's another sign that you're raising your vibration. You're setting boundaries and you don't care because you know you want to protect your energy, and you know that the ways to do that is by setting those boundaries, right? Especially you empaths out there, setting boundaries. So another way that is kind of showing you that you're raising your vibration is you want to connect with others on a much deeper level, right? Maybe in the past, you've had some really surface friends. You had 20 friends. When you're in your 20s, you have 20 friends, right? And they're all kind of surface. And then you get in your 30s and you got 10 friends, okay? And you get in your 40s and shit, for me, it's like I dropped down to 2 friends. I'm like, oh my gosh. But these friends are meaningful friends in my life. We get to share things on a deeper level. We connect much more meaningful, right? It's not this just surface level friendships, those acquaintances, right? So as you begin to go through your spiritual awakening, you're going to want to connect more with people. You're going to want to talk about these things. You're going to want to be like, I don't want to talk about Kardashians anymore. I want to talk about, extraterrestrial life. I want to talk about what the heck's going on Mars. I want to talk about, all these random conspiracies, whatever it may be, right? Whatever you're interested in, you're going to want to connect on a much deeper level. So those are just some signs that I noticed as I began to raise my vibration. Those are things that kind of shifted with me. So I hope that this video was helpful for you. Again, share what types of things are you noticing as you raise your vibration? What's happening? What's going on in your life? Are you attracting super cool stuff? Are you getting rid of things that you didn't really think that you would be getting rid of? Okay. Are you losing people in your life? I know that was definitely something that was very blatant to me. People were just dropping off like flies. And I was like, oh my God, is this me? It is me because I'm changing my vibe. Woo! Okay, guys, keep your heads up, shine your light bright.
You deserve to navigate your life as an empath in alignment with health, happiness, and abundance. To learn more about the services that I provide, including Beyond Quantum Healing Hypnosis, EFT Tapping, and the Emotion Code, visit my website at www.thesoulcafe.org.